All right. Are you guys ready for your final headliner of the evening? Yes, you are. This next man coming on stage, another regular here. We love watching him perform here at the Realms of Comedy. He's very, very funny. Please give it up for Zack, Yowarski, everybody. Zack!
Hey everybody, I am Zack Yowarski, LA-based comedian and actor. Please hold your applause. Thank you. You probably recognize my name from the gentleman saying it just now and from nowhere else. That's because while I am an actor who works, I am not a featured actor so much because I'm a character actor. So that means is I don't necessarily get pigeonholed in those like leading role jobs and I instead get to do everything else. And I've been everything in this town from an overweight best friend to a fat best friend. I have played other things too. I once played a man who was constantly being served other people's drinks, but that wasn't really my cup of tea. But I don't mind being an actor despite the stigma that they get in this town, because a lot of people don't like actors. They think they're irritating because they're always talking about their next project and that. And it's true, actors are the most irritating people in the world. But I mean, it makes sense. It's the one job in the world that people are willing to pay you money so you'll just be someone else for a couple hours. But I like being called an actor. It's nice, and it sounds a lot better than unemployed. I mean, I work. I do work. I don't work as much as I should because I don't have the confidence I need for it. I'm not a confident man. I never really have been. Particularly when it comes to women. They say women like to look for confidence in men, so I make them look really hard. But it's not like I don't have anything going for me. I do. Like, I apparently have like a really nice ass. No, but like so nice it's like intimidating. Because like if I ask a girl out, they always say the same two things to me. They say, Zack, really nice butt. I'm not interested. Which is weird because they like build you up and break you down. Meanwhile, I've got a buddy who's got the exact opposite problem. He's like, I guess he's less attractive than me because he goes on dates all the time. And he goes home with a different woman like every night. But he's so confident about it, he's cocky, and he acts like he's doing a favor, like he's God's gift card to women, you know what I mean? They take him out one place, empty him, and then throw him away. I'm more like one of those coupons you might get at a grocery store. Like, you might take it home with you, but it's not for anything you want. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I haven't really been with a lot of women. And it's my own fault. It's because for the longest time I had these noble aspirations where I was just like saving myself for someone to want to have sex with me. And it took time, and for a while I really got down on myself. I thought, it's because I'm fat or because I'm ugly, and it wasn't until I actually lost some of that weight I realized that it doesn't matter how big you are or what you look like, because at the end of the day, it's your personality they don't like. That was the real weight off for me, really. The way I lost the weight, though, was kind of surprising because it wasn't like intentional. I had just moved out of my house for the first time in my life, and I was doing this new thing where I couldn't afford food anymore, and the pounds that just came right off. And I've more recently learned to like harness that kind of energy. And so what I do now is kind of a routine of mine. Is sometimes at night I just look up at the ceiling and I think about the rent money that I might or might not have at the end of the night, or the week or month. And that gets the heart racing, and that's cardio right there, right? Like, you feel like you've been on a treadmill, but the treadmill's just a metaphor for how your life is going. But I mean, that's not just me, that's my whole generation. A lot of us are feeling poor, or a lot of us were just lonely, because it's hard to meet people these days. No one wants to give you a chance anymore. It's hard, and I feel it's not fair. I think everyone deserves a shot, So and I'm not saying that you should just give your phone number out to anyone that asks for it, but if they do, if they make that effort, you should really, do your part. Really take the time to stop and just judge them, Put them on a scale of 1 to 10 and then give them that many digits of your phone number. That way, if they're a 6 or lower, they're going to have to work for it, but maybe they're good guessers. Of course, this is LA, so you got to be a 10 to get anywhere because no two people have the same area code. I don't know, maybe that wouldn't really work here. Maybe somewhere a little smaller. I come from Florida originally, a little small town, Central Florida, called Bradenton. Anyone know that one? Don't. Please don't. Bradenton is known for a couple things. It's known, Tropicana orange juice comes from there. It's got one of the largest retirement communities in the nation, and it is the home to the heroin burrito. Which if you don't know what that is, that's when you take a fresh tortilla, some rice, and then smuggle heroin inside of it. And you can get that in any Chipotle in town. So I left there for some reason. And they keep trying to pull me back, but like I recently heard that they opened like an escape room in Bradenton. But that just seemed redundant. But there is an interesting thing about Central Florida in general, and that's that it shouldn't exist. But does anyone know like an elephant's graveyard? Anyone? It's like this. So in Africa, there's elephants that live in their various herds around the Africa, and they when they get old, they realize that it's time to leave the herd. So from every individual herd, all the old elephants, they go to the same place. They know into their heart. They go to that place. That place is the elephant's graveyard, and that's where all the old elephants go to die. That's Central Florida. People don't go there to live, they go there to stop living. Like your parents, your grandparents, they didn't go there to retire, they went there to expire, which is fine, but I was born there, so my whole understanding of life and death is just messed up. So I got out as soon as I can, and I moved to LA, and God, do I wish I was dead. I don't know. I just don't get LA. There's something about it. It's disingenuous to me. And even when they're trying to be like progressive, because they're so progressive here. Like the new thing with the straws, the plastic straws. We're all dealing with that, right? You're not allowed to get plastic straws, right? Yep. Good. Okay, just making sure we all live here or have heard of what's going on locally. Yeah, you can't get plastic straws anymore because, and this is true. This is all because there was a picture of a sea turtle. It had a plastic straw just shoved up its nose. It got in there somehow, like it had been on some undersea coke bender that went wrong. And so we're like, oh, we can't do plastic straws anymore in all of California. And that's all right, but that made me thinking, like, years ago, there was a similar campaign against those plastic 6 rings, for like six packs. And that all happened because there's a picture of a sea turtle that had one like trapped around it when I was young, and it grew up all malformed. Even though that thing was probably the inspiration for the lap band, it's still pretty gross. So we stopped doing that. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't make these changes. We shouldn't slow down on these plastics. I'm just saying we should probably take a moment and really consider that sea turtles are probably the dumbest animals in the ocean, and we should expect this from them at this point. But not all progressive things are bad. Sometimes we try to do good with progressive things. Like in America, one of the biggest things that we love that's progressive is politically correct terms. There's always a new politically correct term. And politically correct terms are great for politicians because they are the best way to empower the disenfranchised without actually doing anything. So... But the newest one that came out last year, I don't know if we all know this, is Latinx. Do you know Latinx? It's the only politically correct term that still uses the screen name they made when it was 12. But it does a cool thing, Latinx. It fills in the gaps of the Spanish language. So if you don't know what it is, so you're not necessarily Latino or Latina, you're Latinx, which, if we remember from algebra, is a variable. So you can do whatever it is you want to express yourself with, which is beautiful, because, the one thing we all want in our conversations daily is more math. The one thing that blows my mind about Latinx is that we've gone all these years without already having a word that referred to a person who is Latin that I just said in this goddamn sentence. But it's fine, maybe I just don't get it. Maybe I'm just a dumb millennial. That's right, I'm a millennial. Yeah, it's fine, I didn't want a house anyway. Yeah. I feel bad for us millennials, though. We get a lot of flack for things that I don't think we deserve. Like older generations, a lot of them say that we're entitled because we got all these participation trophies growing up. And we did. We got a lot of participation trophies because you gave them to us. And of course we took them. And it's not like we didn't know that we didn't deserve them. We knew full well that they didn't mean anything. It's not like some power trip we're having now. No, we just took them because pity trophies come with candy. Little 8-year-old me's not going to turn down a mini Snickers. Also, more than that, even if we had the integrity as little kids to turn that down, you know, we were all afraid that if we didn't graciously accept these gifts, it might come back to haunt us later. So I don't think that's why we're entitled. I think the reason that we're entitled is because we were promised the world and we still haven't gotten it. When we were kids, every single one of us was promised that if we went to college and we got a degree, we could do anything. So we did that. Every single one of us. We went to college, we got a degree, which is really good because you need one to do anything. And a degree itself isn't anything. It is just a piece of paper that says the answer to the last time you were ever asked, what do you want to do when you grow up? And the only thing that makes that different from the one you did when you were 6 years old is it gets to go on the wall instead of the fridge. And that's just because it was expensive. And that's the thing. These things are so expensive. A degree these days is so expensive. The kids are going and paying thousands and thousands of dollars, going so deep to get this paper that just gives them a chance at getting the job they think they want. And that to me is no different from high-stakes gambling. I mean, these kids are rolling hard these days. Like they're spending these G's on these expensive degrees. That feels like a rap in there. Expensive degrees like a space, physics, engineering, and where you either get that job at NASA or you are owing hard for that. And that's rough. And a lot of kids, they do the opposite. They just hedge their bets. They go low, bet low, go easy, try to break even. You know, like, oh, I want a job in a business, so I got a degree in business. And that works too. And I don't really have much room to talk because what I did is I'm more like the guy at the front of the casino holding Monopoly money, trying to convince the guy that it's real. Because I got an arts degree. Yeah, it was in theater, so I'm doing pretty good. But no matter how you started, we're all started out owning the house really big, and it's just not paying out for us. And a lot of the older generations these days, they say that it's because we're lazy, or it was always this way, but I do not think it's the case. I really don't. Because, I mean, think about what is it millennials love more than anything else? Nostalgia. Shit from the 80s and the 90s, that is what we live for. We buy it, we suck it up, we do anything we can to get that. Anything to get that feeling we had from when we were 8 years old. And so people these days, you know, they're like 20, 30-year-old little Pokemon backpack, you know? But you ask any other generation what they're most nostalgic over their life, and 9 times out of 10, they're gonna say their 20s or their early 30s. We are in our prime right now, and we do not want to be there unless there's like a mini Snickers. All right, I'm Zack Yowarski.